Hello everybody, and welcome to FuSha. This is a point-and-click horror game. There's not much else I can say besides that, so let's get into it. Also, a lot of it is not going to be in English, but the most important part, the dialogue is, so that's nice. 2 a.m. This is my first time in this distant and strange city. Although traveling far and wide on business is my daily routine that I've become accustomed to. It might be that the company's performance has been getting worse and worse recently. In my last few trips, the quality of the hotels booked for me by the company has been declining sharply. And this inn today, it really looked a bit too old. I managed to find it with great difficulty in the dim light. Although it is close to a bustling district, the corner where this hotel's located is unusually quiet and desolate, even excluding an unsettling atmosphere. I'm by no means a superstitious person, but the journey here has been extremely difficult. Lost some important documents halfway, took many wrong detours, and for a long time, I almost even got into a fight with a drunk passerby on the way to the hotel. I'd luck events one after the other. Every setback made the journey more difficult, as if some huge disaster was like a black hole, sucking away all my good fortune. Now, through all the hardship, I finally arrived at a destination, but it is such an uncomfortable residence. If it weren't for the 6-hour journey that exhausted me, I might have followed my intuition and immediately found a more reliable hotel of my own. But by now I was so exhausted that I was in a daze, and I had to go to the company early tomorrow morning to finish my work. I need to have a good rest tonight. Ultimately, reason took the lead. This is just an ordinary inn. What's there to worry about? The interior of the hotel was even more worrying. The front desk was already covered with a small first-floor foyer. Right next to me were mottled stains on the wall plaster and a cold, musty smell wafting everywhere. Behind the counter was a rather untidy graybeard, leaning against the broken chair with his back to me, staring at the old TV with poor signal as if he hadn't noticed my appearance. Hello? I booked online yesterday. Hello? I'm the guy who reserved the room. I don't know what that sound was. Oh, here I come. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It feels like a poor translation thing, but he didn't even turn his head and was still watching a documentary about a criminal case with rough pictures on TV. The room card is on the table. Room 306. 2 years ago, this bloody murder case caused by betrayal of love and the turning of love into hate. An incredible tragedy, but the perpetrator has yet to be captured. It is reported that, perhaps already after the crime, from the pale light flickered irregularly in the dim and damp space, making the eerie atmosphere even more solemn. Another victim was not in the room at that time. Escape a disaster? I didn't want to linger any longer. I picked up the room card and walked up the dark and narrow staircase in the corner. The steps of the staircase were very high and the space was very narrow. My suitcase would bump into the wall from time to time, making a shrill scraping sound. Further up to the turning point of the staircase, there was no lighting at all here. Only half of a broken light bulb remained on the wall, and it seemed that no one had come to repair it for a long time. I had to drag my suitcase with one hand and hold my phone with the other to briefly illuminate the steps beneath my feet. Even if the box is not heavy, dragging it on such old-fashioned high steps is very laborious. Just as I struggled to pull the box up too high a step, my peripheral vision was drawn to something at the edge of the light. I don't know what that was. It looked like a hand, kinda. That's... What was that? Am I so tired? I'm misreading this. Is it because I'm so tired that my consciousness is a bit dazed? I stood still, my brain processing complex information at a rapid pace. Oh, I get a save. Look at these sound effects. How quaint. I ain't see shit. I'm just too tired. I just need to rest. Don't think so much about this and that. Just get to the room quickly. Sleep until tomorrow morning and finish the docking work. You can go to just... I suddenly felt something grasping my ankle. Before I could react, a powerful force pulled me backwards abruptly and I couldn't keep my balance. The traveler fell from a narrow and dark staircase. Although it was just a few steps, he broke his neck at a strange angle. The police deduced that it was an accident caused by a lack of lighting and have ordered the hotel to make corrections and find them, right? Hey, that's our first ending. Krypton died. Okay, well, this kind of advertised itself as a point and click, but I see it's more of just a visual novel. That don't matter, but... Oh. If I make a choice, it's mounted with a hand. It's kind of neat.
Calm down. Take a deep breath.
It's just the unease caused by the unfamiliar environment that's at play. I need to wake up. Slowly showed my phone into the darkness, but there was nothing. Sure, of course there wouldn't be anything. What on earth am I afraid of? I coughed subconsciously a few times. If there was anything unclean, I guess I had said hello like this, right? Okay. I kept walking up, letting the staircase make noise on the stairs to build up my courage. Struggling to climb up to the third floor, the musty smell became even heavier, and there seemed to be a strange stench mixed in. Although I know that when booking a hotel thousands of miles away, I cannot choose the location of the room. I turned around to look for my room on the door plate. Long anticipated yet heart-tightening unease hit me. Sure enough, although I know that when I'm booking a hotel thousands of miles away, I cannot choose the location of the room. But the door of such an old room standing at the end of the dim corridor still brought countless strange urban legends to my mind. The room at the end of the corridor gathers the most yin energy. A room that had been empty for a long time will also restrained my wild thoughts. It seemed that the hotel had deliberately arranged a hard-to-rent room at the end of the corridor for us, a traveler of no choice. The initial unease gradually turned into anger, but weariness and drowsiness continued to torment my will. Okay. Now, I'm going to assume looking for a better hotel is the ending that... Well, we'll try it. Though I know it must be that I'm too neurotic or suspicious. But heavy shivering hair on my back was warning that some of the most ominous things were about to happen. Leaving right now might be the most correct choice. I hurried downstairs. The man at the front desk was nowhere to be seen, and only the noisy snowflakes remained on the TV. Not caring about that much, I left my room card on the table and turned to walk out the door. Although my physical strength was severely exhausted, I still forced myself to walk towards a bustling place 2 streets away. However, as I walked along the gradually widening road, I seemed to smell the musky odor I had just smelled, along with that strange and odd stench. In a daze, I did not notice at all. A fully loaded van had rushed up to me. On the streets in the early hours of the morning, the overturned truck and the body of a tired passenger did not attract much attention. This was just another unfortunate traffic accident. Return to title. Sorry, I'm just looking at this screen and just... Okay. Something about it was a bit off-putting. I didn't know much. I think this is it, yeah. What on earth am I afraid of? As an adult who has lived abroad for many years, I've actually started to worry about these strange things. This is just one of countless ordinary hotels, and today is just an ordinary day in an ordinary day. There's only when one over-suggests oneself that everything seems suspicious. There's nothing special here. The door wasn't unlocked. I glanced at the blurry room number on the card, and it was indeed 306. I swiped the access card again. There we go. The old electronic door lock finally made a sound of unlocking. I opened the wooden door that felt a bit blocked, and a faint clinking sound came out. The moment I stepped into room 306, a chill suddenly arose on the back of my scalp, causing all my muscles to tighten involuntarily. Yeah. This wasn't my psychological effect. It was indeed the room temperature that was 2 to 3 degrees lower than outside. This temperature difference made me shiver uncontrollably. The dark room, accompanied by that sense of unease as if being watched by something, was like a dark cloud covering the heart. With a hint of fear, I reached out and inserted the room card into the slot on the wall. Fortunately, with the arrival of bright lights, the previous sense of fear vanished. Looking around the room, I found it was a common, cheap, small room style, with a single bed, a bedside table, combined toilet and bathroom separated by glass, windows with tightly closed curtains, and a dusty wall-mounted TV. Closing the door, the room seemed to no longer have such a strong musty smell as in the corridor, which made me feel a little better. Curious. What's going on here? That was... Just now it seems there was a figure? It might be that the light in the room is about to break down, or the circuit is old and has poor contact. I quickly re-encoded the room. Re-encoded the room card? I don't know what that means. And the light stopped flickering. I don't know what that would relate. The power seemed to have stabilized. I slowly loosened the door handle that I'd been holding tightly without realizing. It seemed that it was just me scaring myself. Me. The soundproofing of the room is pretty good. The surroundings are extremely quiet. This particular quietness actually makes one feel a bit uneasy. Honestly, it's a pretty nice hotel room. I don't know what you're talking about. Sitting by the relatively comfortable bedside, drowsiness gradually crept into my eyes. I thought I might as well just rest like this. But when I turned my head and saw that my dusty hair and the sullied coat from an argument of a drunk passerby reflected on the black TV screen, the time left for me to wash up tomorrow morning might not be enough. Oh, no save option. Oh, there is a save option. I was just hidden by the bed. Time to scrub it up. A good image can always boost one's confidence, right? Even though one is very tired, taking a hot bath can also relax the body and mind. Yeah, it's actually really nice going to sleep after taking a bath or shower. A warm one. I don't know if it'd be as good as a cold one. The bathroom here looks quite clean. Just hold on a little longer, take a bath, and then go to sleep. I wonder if I'm gonna die again. The bathroom is very small with only one shower, but that's enough. On the glass on the side close to the room, there is a thin and long crack. The dirt in the gap has already become a little moldy. I took out my spare clothes and went into the bathroom, only to find that the glass door was hard to close tightly. Strange. There's nothing blocking it, but the lock just can't be fastened. I pulled the door handle again. What external force has that hinge, which feels very much like a glass door, been subjected to, causing it to deform somewhat? It looks like I'm gonna live this time. I love the fact that... Goodness. I love the fact that one of these options is probably gonna get me killed. Try to close it. I exerted all my strength with a dull thud. The glass door closed tightly and I fastened the bolt. To that, I pulled away the toiletries and towels, turned on the shower, and started taking a bath. The sewer in the bathroom seems a bit clogged and drains very slowly, so there's always some water accumulation. But fortunately, it only covers the ankles. While I'm enjoying the nourishment of the warm current, the light in the room suddenly went out again. Everything once again plunged into total darkness, and being in this confined space was particularly unsettling. I fumbled around in a panic trying to find the door lock of the shower room, but the slippery glass felt unexpectedly cold to the touch. Just as I was about to touch the bathroom door, something was touching my back. In my terror, I reflexively turned around suddenly, but slipped because of the water beneath my feet. Ed, what hard surface did it fall so hard on? The next afternoon, what the administrator discovered that the person had been using excessive water. The traveler was found lying face down in a pool of water in the bathroom that was not draining properly. It is possible that the fall had caused the coma, and strangely, the person had drowned in the shallow water. And we're not going to blame the hotel for this one. Okay, fine. Shitty-ass hotel. I wonder how long this game is. I don't think it could be very long. Take a bath like this. Although the door can't be closed tightly, it doesn't matter. After all, there won't be any visitors here. I can fully enjoy some freedom of being alone. Put down the toiletries and towels, turn on the shower and bathroom, and wait for the water temperature to gradually warm up. Before taking a bath, I go to the toilet as well. Sitting on the toilet like this, I enjoyed a moment of tranquility, listening to the clear gurgling of the shower water. Although it was a bit of a waste of water, the gradually warm and moist air enveloped me, healing my tired body and mind. The stream of the hot water gradually rose, filling the already small shower room. The bed and the window on the other side of the glass gradually disappeared from sight. When I gradually began to enjoy this gentle atmosphere, Was that an illusion? Oh, on the side of the glass. So now on the other side of the fog and glass, there was a vague figure. Are you standing opposite and looking here? I love, well, I love these kind of translations. The sudden situation left me no time to think about anything complicated. I just pushed open the door of the shower room and rushed out. Nobody. Of course there was nobody. There's nothing. Everything is still exactly the same as when I left just now. So taking a long sigh of relief. I mean, I guess it was both. It works. I found my neurotic behavior amusing. It must be because my mental state was too poor. There it is. A handprint. Was it a handprint left on the side of the shower room? How is this possible? Is it mine? Why didn't I even walk to the shower just now? Let alone press my handprint on the glass. Although, I mean, it's obviously a ghost, because, I mean, you know, spooky game. But, I mean, realistically, this hotel was really so shitty, someone just could have not cleaned the glass. I didn't leave the bathroom completely just now. Besides, how could such a small room possibly hide another person? Damn, this is like choice after choice after choice. Calm down. Calm down and don't be scared by the unknown. Still believe that everything will have a scientific explanation. For instance, someone could have played a prank by using waterproof paint, or someone touched this piece of glass with oily or cosmetic hands, but the poor cleaning staff of the hotel didn't notice. It must be something like that. That's the only explanation I can think of. Is there anything beyond? Thinking like this, I walked over unconsciously, watching to study carefully the reason for the formation of the palm prints. Oh mein Gott, it's a hand! Oh my god. No. The guest next door called the police after hearing a terrifying scream. Eventually they found a traveler lying in the shower room due to a sudden what the fuck? Myocardial infarction. Seemingly in great pain and having lost all signs of life. I think there's so many deaths. God. Like, I can die in a million different ways, and I missed like 2 of them. Hell no! My mind went blank. I rushed over, turned off the shower, and quickly stepped out with my clothes in my arms. Back by the bedside, while frantically getting dressed, I secretly glanced at the handprint from this side out of the corner of my eye. It seemed that the strange phenomenon came to an end here, and no new handprints of anything else appeared. I just stared blankly until the handprint gradually vanished as the steam dissipated. I kept trying to convince myself that it was just a dirty handprint left by the previous guest that wasn't wiped clean. Perhaps because of the oil, or some cosmetic. Anyway, I just didn't notice it at the very beginning. After all, it didn't pop out of nowhere in front of me. This must just be an accident. Thinking like this, my tense spirit eventually grew relaxed, and the adrenaline that had been stimulated slowly dissipated. Drowsiness had once again taken control, especially after such a huge shock. Since that was the case, I didn't think about anything else. I lay on the bed and felt it. The softness and hardness were just right. There was nothing unclean at all. I turned on my phone and casually browsed through the information and news I had missed on the high-speed train. In a daze, the corner of my eye was drawn to something that was shaking. My survival instinct made me dare not make any big movements at that moment. I just slowly shifted my gaze to that abnormal thing. It's a curtain. It might be that the window wasn't closed tightly, and the wind was blowing on the curtains. Now this spot, this little angle of the window is in the Steam screenshots, and there's something very interesting in those screenshots that I think we will see if we take a closer look. I put down my phone in puzzlement, but didn't take any immediate action. Even with the windows fully opened, I remembered the maximum wind tonight was not strong enough to make such thick curtains move like this. Is there someone hiding behind the curtain? It's impossible. In such a small space, it's hard to even completely hide a child's figure. After a bout of internal struggle, I decided to cautiously lift the curtain to find out what was going on. Sure enough, the window wasn't open, and I had no idea where the wind had just blown in. I double-checked and found that the window was indeed locked and very sturdy, so it couldn't have been sneaked in from outside. There must always be some things that cannot be fully explained due to insignificant personal information. Just making sure the room is safe. Oh, we didn't see it. I drew the curtains back and looked at the electronic clock on the bedside table. It is almost 3 a.m. I had best go to bed. Exhausted, I returned to bed and decided not to care about anything else and to go to sleep quickly. I set the alarm on my phone, confirmed my schedule for tomorrow, and then... Well, I can't see any reason why turning off some of the lights would be more dangerous than turning off all the lights, so... In a strange environment, people will eventually be afraid of complete darkness. I've decided to keep some light and a sense of security for myself. Which lamp should I keep? Ah, what the fuck, I gotta choose? Let's get the bedside lamp on. That seems like the best choice. Just the lights in the room in general. I'm not too opposed to sleeping in an environment with light sources, even if the light sources are a bit too bright. So I turned off the bathroom light that was a bit dazzling under the reflection of the glass, leaving the room light that was sufficient to bring a sense of security. That's it. At first everything was calm and I lay peacefully in bed. Soon I began to feel drowsy. Until... Who the fuck is taking a piss in my bathroom? The sound of running water woke me up. I got up in bed in alarm and listened carefully. Even if I didn't listen so closely, I could tell it was the sound from the faucet of the wash basin in the bathroom. Oh god, we're gonna die. But at this moment, although the room was bright, the depths of the bathroom seemed even deeper and darker. All I can be sure of is that there was no one there. After sitting there in a daze for a moment, no other anomaly occurred. This must be due to hallucinating and leakage caused by years of neglect. Though it did scare me. Can't let it keep leaking like this. Call the front desk. Hey, can you turn off my sink for me, mate? I walked over and peered into the bathroom for a moment. The faucet was turned to the maximum. Water flowed freely into the shallow sink, splashing everywhere. That was all. It's as if a sudden leak caused by a loose or rusty faucet. Then it doesn't seem to be a big problem. Though I still felt a bit nervous in my heart. As long as I reached out with my hand a little, I could close it without having to walk into the darkness. So I plucked up my courage, leaned out half of my body, and tried to stretch my fingers forward until I touched the cold metal. good sound for your hand to make. I see stains on the wall. That's not normal. How'd I die? The long deceased guest in room 306 was found. The room had already stained the entire bathroom red. Several sharp fragments from the wall space were still stuck in the broken head. A slip and... God damn it. Half of these deaths have been by natural fucking causes. Well, as natural as, that is, but not supernatural. Gravity's natural. At this point, it's... damn, like, half of it's like the hotel's... Well, a quarter of it's the hotel's fault. Another quarter is this mysterious monster's fault. And the rest of it is just my fault. Oi! Turn my sink off for me. I felt that something was starting to go wrong, so I quickly turned on the toilet light and made sure that apart from the faucet being on, there were no more issues. Why didn't you do that for the other ending, you bitch? I tried to turn the switch, and it turned off smoothly. There were no signs of damage to the faucet as a whole. But in any case, I still picked up the phone and called the front desk. Of course, as expected, no one answered. I don't know if that greybeard is still watching TV or has already gone to sleep. After all, I don't see any customers coming here usually. I helplessly looked at the water stains all over the floor. There was nothing I could do. I hope there won't be any more unexpected incidents disturbing my sleep this time. I checked my watch and it was already 3:15. It is really important to rest now. I woke up. When I woke up feeling a bit unwell, the room was plunged into darkness again. Could it be that the power in the room was cut off while I was asleep? There was no light around at all. The few glimmers of light that had been in the gaps of the curtains has now vanished. I remembered to check the situation, but I found something even more serious. I couldn't move anymore. My entire body, every muscle and nerve seemed to be fixed to the bed by some kind of spell. Although they still had normal perception, they couldn't move even a little. Could this be? Was I bedridden by a ghost? I still have a clear mind. Only my eyes can barely look around. But it's too dark, even a bit abnormally dark. And I can't see anything clearly. Try to break free and try to recall the solutions. Ah yes, I remember the solution to this. Why yes. Don't panic, don't panic. Although this is the first time I had encountered such a situation, I have read of many ways to deal with it online. Oh shit, you do know. Okay, my bad. First of all, don't panic. Take a deep breath. It seems like no use. Then draw circles with your fingers. Draw. But the fingers couldn't move at all, as if they were being heavily pressed down. It's simply impossible. Perhaps saying something to yourself. When I realized that my breathing had already become difficult, a heavy sense of oppression had shifted to my chest at some point. The more one tries to get fresh air, the more... Even after a detailed autopsy, no one can determine the true cause of death of the passenger in room 306. I think the fucking bloodstains could give you a hint. There were no external injuries, no poisons, and no intruders from outside. There was only the terrifying legend that was passed down in only on quiet voices. Damn it. I can't do shit in this hotel. 3 stars. try to break free. I couldn't help but start to panic, constantly wanting to lift my fingers and move my legs. That irresistible force firmly fixed me there. The response brought by my desperate struggles were only waves of pale numbness. I began to try larger movements, such as turning over, kicking or sitting up, but even using all my strength, my body was still as if paralyzed, motionless. There were even a few times when I seemed to have moved a little, but in a trance I was still fixed in the same place. Fear gradually took over my reason, but my body was completely unable to respond. I felt a cold threat approaching. But the more one fears, the more one feels frightened and powerless. After a senseless struggle, I finally came to a complete stop. Perhaps this is really just an ordinary sleep paralysis, because the body is just overly fatigued and the brain is too tense. I tried to relax my limbs and even wanted to keep sleeping. But when the curtains fluttered unnaturally in my sight again, my heart broke once more. Although it was very dark around, I still saw very clearly a place that shouldn't be seen clearly. In that completely dark corner, there was indeed a person there. It seems that still holding something like a knife. It seems like shouting doesn't really help. At least it didn't for the last ending. I can't just sit and wait to die. No matter what, I have to escape. I don't want to die here without any reason. At least let me resist. Thinking like this, I tried to hold my breath again. After waiting for a moment, I suddenly rolled over to the right. Because of the excessive movement, I rolled off the bed and fell heavily onto the floor. However, I didn't feel much pain. It felt a bit light and unnatural all over. But finally, I was able to move. To my great surprise, I actually moved this time. I don't have time to look up to check if the person opposite me had rushed over. Instead, I was in a disheveled posture, crawling and half running, trying to rush towards the door. But just as I was leaning against the bathroom glass, a terrifying shrill sound rang in my ears and I'd frozen in place. Ew. Ew. I don't like that at all. What was that? Just for a moment, just disappeared like that. For a moment, I was so frightened by what I saw that I could hardly think. I could hardly judge what to do next. My survival instinct can be said to have completely failed under such an unconventional situation. I think I'm probably reaching the end. Fuck. There ain't shit here. Keep moving. But I can at least confirm one thing. Escape. Okay. Only by escape from this room do I have any chance of survival. While thinking this, I dragged my weak legs and continued to move towards the door. The originally cramped room seems now to have no end. It's like walking in thick liquid is slow and suffocating. Until I couldn't help but look back at my heavy right leg. Is that the one from the bathroom? I have to break free right away. Break free and then escape. The more I struggled, the slower my movement seemed to be, even though the door in the room was right within reach. My hand. I mustn't. It was just a little bit short of... The door to survival remains out of reach. Looking at the last hope before me, I exerted my last strength and rushed forward with all my might. Panted admittedly, sitting motionless on the bed. I woke up. At this very moment I really woke up. There was no power outage in the room. Everything was exactly the same as when I was asleep. The lights were bright and the doors and windows were tightly closed. As if everything just now, it was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. I'm gonna save on that. Yeah, fuck off. There we go. Nah, get the fuck out. I quickly turned over and jumped out of bed, rushed to the room door in a few steps, and held my hand firmly on the handle. This time everything has gone too smoothly. Could it be that the door won't open? Someone's gonna be behind that fucking door. I quickly guessed all kinds of bad possibilities. Fortunately, the door was smoothly opened. A crack, and I let out a long sigh of relief. But when I tried to pull the door open again, I saw the feet in the dim corridor. I was stunned for a moment. Then I closed the door and hurriedly locked it. There really was an intruder here. Fucking dive at the window. Hey, wait, don't. No. I saw some of the other screenshots. Don't do that one. I kept stepping back, away from the door while thinking about where I could hide in the room. There's absolutely no place to hide. I grabbed my phone and moved towards the window. With one hand, I tried to open the largest window. If there was no other choice, this could also be an escape route. Let's save. Calling the front desk won't do shit. I don't know if calling the police will help either, so this is... There was a screenshot that made me think this is a bad idea, but even if I call the police now, it will take some time for them to arrive. Before that, I can only try to protect myself. The top priority should be to first open up a way for oneself to escape at any time. I shook the window handle desperately, but couldn't open it. I began to get a little flustered and shook it vigorously from side to side again, but it still didn't work. If it can't be opened, then I'll just have to break the glass. Besides, it's almost impossible to accidentally hurt passers-by at this time of the morning. After all, in a crisis, the most important thing is to run for your life first. I raised my elbow and threw it hard at the window. But before I could touch the glass, the window itself suddenly burst inward, and the sharp edges of the broken pieces rained like a shower of knives. The loud noise of the glass shattering quickly brought the attention of the surrounding residents. When people found the traveler lying in a pool of blood in room 306, he was still breathing, but multiple ruptures in his carotid artery showed uncontrollable massive bleeding. A few minutes later, he lost all signs of life. Okay, fair enough. I honestly thought this would be like an ex mortis situation, but I'm fine. This is cool. Call the police. Hello, police? When confronted with a real criminal, the wisest thing to do must be to call the police for help. I quickly dialed the police number. Listening to the beeping sound of the connection, I felt a bit relieved. But the call seems to have gone unanswered for too long. This is definitely not normal for an emergency call. Finally, there was an answering voice on the other side. Hello? I'm at Blank Hotel at room 306. There's someone outside my door. I couldn't wait to tell the other side about my location and situation. I expected the other side to have comforting or specific questions, but suddenly realized only a rustling sound of interference can be heard from the opposite side. The rustling sounds sometimes burst with a shrill sound and some unnatural sounds. Then everything returned to a more urgent beeping sound, and the phone was hung up. After hanging up the phone, I found that my phone had no signal at all and could only make emergency calls. My phone had a full signal when I first came here. Could there really be some supernatural force influencing this room? This room? Will it be my tomb? Was it once a haunted house? Just then a dull knock on the door suddenly came. I dared not think carefully about what the existence on the other side of the door was. Some kind of illusory supernatural existence? Or the real murderer? I don't know why it makes a difference, because he's trying to kill you either way, but... let's say... supernatural. If it's really just that supernatural being. Just like what I had experienced, no matter what they look like, there was no entity that exists. And in theory, as long as I remain clear-headed and not blinded by fear, just like before, as long as I... Sure enough, the corridor by the door was pitch dark, with no place to hide and no sound of nearby rooms closing their doors. There was indeed no one at all. Secretly glad that in reality, all this is not as exaggerated as horror films. Except for the faint scraping sound coming from behind me. At around 3:30 p.m. that night, the surveillance equipment in the corridor happened to miss 15 minutes of footage. No one knew who had killed the passenger in room 306, but the severity of his death was truly unbearable to look at. Though it is a person. I was more like on like, whether supernatural or real, best to like keep that door fucking shut. Oh. Okay, I think I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, hell no. Whether the other side of the door is human or ghost, if it's human, it's still a bit more difficult for them to break in. If it's something else. Everyone says that cursing is the best way. At such a dangerous moment, even if the person opposite really is a living person, they would still be somewhat wary of being scolded like this, wouldn't they? Regardless of whether it would disturb the neighbors in the middle of the night, or even hoping to draw others' attention, I began the curse at the door in my loudest voice. In just 5 minutes, I used almost all of the offensive words I had heard in my life, and kept cursing like this until I was almost out of breath myself. Damn, we pulled up the Wikipedia. Pulled up the dictionary. After this series of outbursts, the outside of the door became unusually quiet. That's fucking racist, man. After all, whether it was human or ghost on the other side, they would surely have backed down a little in the face of some hysterical shouting, wouldn't they? I stepped back and tried hard to listen to the sounds outside. The good thing is that there was no movement outside the door. The bad thing is, there was no movement outside the door. Did I just wake up anyone else around me by shouting so loudly? Or am I the only guest tonight? In an instant, I once again felt myself in a helpless and isolated situation. The words are cut off. The most disturbing thing began to happen. The room could fall into darkness at any moment. I nervously shook the room card on the slot back and forth, not knowing if it would work. When my attention was all focused on the door and the room card, the bathroom light beside me suddenly went out. I suddenly turned around to face this sudden change. Fuck. You know, every time I've tried to mess with the bathroom, it's kind of gotten me killed. Let's just stay away. The constant occurrence of all kinds of unimaginable events has made me reflexively retreat to the other end of the room. Even when I retreated near the window, approaching the safer exit still gave me a glimmer of hope. Beside it was the slightly dusty surface of the TV, slightly reflecting the mirror image of the room. But what is reflected in it seems to be something that is somewhat different from reality. There seems to be two figures that are indistinct. What's going on here? Such a real scene. This is This is nothing in reality. Welcome to reality TV, bitch. In the reflection of the television mirror, I seem to witness a terrible murder scene. In this room, in the bathroom. Could this be an event that really happened here before? He committed suicide after committing the crime. It is even rotted to a terrible extent. Could he? That's the one that was set on the TV downstairs before. Always unable to find. I dare not think about it anymore because in the reflection of his rotten and hollow eyes, he has been staring at me intently all this time. I stared at the scene reflected on the TV with extreme fear, but because I was so frightened, I didn't notice when the two people in the mirror had vanished. But that dangerous fear has not gone away. It lurks somewhere. My eyes searched the room for something unusual. The bathroom, the door, and curtains. With the corner of my eye, I seemed to catch a glimpse of the grayish-white curtain right beside me, swaying unnaturally. Some human contours gradually emerged. Oh. If I was trying to do some real horror, I wouldn't give you the choice. I would just like wait on this for a bit, and then it would suddenly jump scare you. But this is a visual novel, so beat his ass! But the irony is at this very moment, no matter what it is, it can never be a living person. In a state of extreme terror, I was so flustered that I couldn't control my hands and tried to desperately suppress the presence behind the curtains, as if random slapping could bring the empty curtains back to normal. But my fingertips just touched the curtain. He disappeared and came back. Ooh, no! A burst of intense bright red gushed out instantly, staining the entire curtain and giving off a strange, fishy stench. I almost lost my mind and even forgot to shout. I just kept trying to pull the curtain aside, in vain proving that there was no danger beneath. Yeah, nothing, there's nothing there. But the more I pulled, the wider the curtain seemed, gradually filling my entire field of vision. It was not until I was so tightly wrapped in the rolling curtains, unable to move, that I realized I had no strength at all to contend with. Oh God! Oh God! The bizarre murder case of the passenger in room 306 has always puzzled the police. It seems that this is indeed an ordinary murder. The victim was stabbed more than 10 times when his movement was blocked by the curtain, and the blood inside his body seemed to have been absorbed by the curtain, making the body pale and dry. That is gruesome. Shit. Alright, I'ma fuck with you. Oh, he's still there! I jumped to the last corner of the room at top speed, the corner far from the door, the bathroom, and the curtains. I crouched down slowly, full of despair, and looked in terror at the curtain that was still bulging. In this dead corner of the room with no way out, I was trapped in a deep and desperate situation. At this moment, I am powerless to pray for salvation, but I had no idea whom to pray. Is it gonna give me a choice? A clear sound drew my gaze over. Perhaps I bumped into the wall painting in the corner. As if guided by some kind of fate, a small, unremarkable piece of wood was knocked off by me and landed in front of my feet. That piece of wood is about the size of a palm and seems very new. There are still some red stains on it. It seems that there should still be some patterns on the side that is fastened to the ground. In despair and terror, this piece of wood is like a piece of driftwood in the sea, as if it could be, as if it could save me from hell by grasping it. Should I seize this opportunity or say? I wonder if that piece of wood is the last connection. Like, I'm assuming something. I'll take some free wood. Thanks, bitch. I didn't care about that much anymore. I grabbed the piece of wood in my hand as if it were the last straw to save my life. Its touch was dry and even a bit brittle, and the blurs on the edges are a bit prickly. The moment I picked it up, the raised curtain flattened, and the knocking outside the door stopped. I hesitantly held the wooden piece and spent some time regarding my senses. Could this be? I turned the wooden piece over. Sure enough, there were some strange patterns drawn in red on it, like some kind of charm. Could this be the charm to ward off evil spirits? In an instant, I felt as if I had seen the dawn of hope. With this, I could finally escape from this terrifying place. My mood is like a roller coaster, even though this pattern looks completely different from the kind of charm often seen in movies or online, but I did not have time to think, nor did I have time to feel the joy of victory. The light in the room suddenly dimmed. Fucking what? I looked up in puzzlement at the room. Is it? Why are problems starting to occur in the entire room? No matter how you look at it, the current situation doesn't seem to have improved. Instead, it has worsened. What should I do now? The stains in the room grew more and more numerous, almost covering my entire field of vision. I really can't figure out what's going on here. It seems that all of this has a very strong connection with this piece of wood, especially the glass in the shower room. The bloodstain that was on it now keeps expanding, and the sinuous mark is somewhat like... The shape is like a pattern on the wooden piece in my hand. They are hinting at the piece of wood. To be fair, they've been trying to kill me this entire time, but it could be a victim, murderer, ghost, duel, or haunting. It was like in those movies. The strange piece of wood. This piece of wood must be. There must be a talisman left in this room to protect the house. I held it tightly in my hand. It would be a powerful amulet. This must be the last protection. Sharp, searing pain shot through the center of my palm. Holding the wooden piece, subconsciously I threw it away. When I opened my hands, I found that they felt as if I found that they felt as if they had been cut by sharp blades, so deep that the bones were visible. Blood was constantly gushing out of their wounds, completely staining the wooden pieces red. Why is this piece of wood hurting me instead? Isn't this meant to protect me? In bewilderment and terror, I felt my body being pierced by cold metal again and again. The experienced police officer judged that the strange death of a passenger in room with 306 must be ritual murder. What seemed to be something important in the deceased's hand was never found at the scene. Okay, fine. I thought that, like, the hinting thing seemed like it could have been a option, but I thought it was too obvious. Because why would they be helping me all of a sudden? Figured maybe since it could be a dual haunting, like the murdered ghost, be like, hey, drop that piece of wood, fucker. Is it possible that they're actually... What are you hinting at? Me? Something they can't say directly? I don't know where I got the courage from either. I raised the wooden piece in the direction of the bathroom glass. The ever-expanding crack suddenly stopped. At this moment, I really had the illusion of those mages and exorcism movies. Of course it was an illusion, but a moment later the door of the room was slammed open. No, it seemed that this alone won't do. It seems this won't make them stop. My mind is racing, trying to understand the connection between the wood talisman and them, and myself. Even if there was a murder case in the hotel, it was many years ago. But me, it didn't seem there was any such terrifying and exaggerating supernatural event, did it? Screenshot! Oh my god, he's horrifying. Why did I encounter something even more outrageous than a movie? Fate? Coincidence? Such a master left this rather new child not long ago. Why is it? Or could it be that it is simply because? Time is pressing. This is the last moment. Whether I'm right or not, I have to make my final choice. I have to seize this last chance. I think I have to break it, but, you know, just to be sure. Back off. New save. Sure, of course there's a possibility, isn't there? The crack on the bathroom glass and the red pattern on the wood chip. Because they have a direct connection. This piece of wood talisman is not used to suppress them, then it is. It's the reason why they appeared. They're trapped here by this charm, constantly suffering the terrifying torment of death like an hell. Which is why they are so angry. It seems that everything is gradually becoming clear. But is that really the case? Is this really what they are trying to express in their madness? I had no choice but to take a desperate gamble and quickly twist my hands in the opposite directions. With a crisp sound, the charm on the wooden chip broke completely from the middle along with the fragile pieces, and everything in the room came to a halt. There in the blink of an eye, I woke up again. The room was brightly lit, and the walls and bathroom glass were spotlessly clean. Nothing had happened. I immediately jumped out of bed from the left like a spring and tried to move my hands. Finally, when I woke up this time, my body no longer had that ethereal feeling as before. Ethereal. Every touch was so real. Recalling everything that just happened, it was truly just a nightmare. Then, was it really a nightmare? Subconsciously, I searched behind the painting hanging in the corner just now. Sure enough, behind the picture framed lies a piece of wood exactly the same as in the dream just now. I held it in my hand again and observed it carefully. The red talisman pattern on it was even clearer now than in the nightmare I just had. The thing from the dream was actually appeared in reality. I was even more wary of it. Can't leave it there any longer. Break it! Break it! Carefully observing the piece of wood, I can be certain the material used to draw the talisman is not cinnabar, but real blood. Some parts of it had begun to turn black, but it still looks like it was left just a few days ago. Damn, they opened up the room! It was right after that. The woman who once killed there and the murderer who had committed suicide were once again pulled back into this cramped room where that bloody massacre kept repeating itself. The question is, who on earth is it? Why does such an unreasonable thing, even turning them into more ferocious, vengeful spirits, and then randomly killing them out of their anger and resentment? I really can't figure it out. After all, in my perception, if there are such spells, shouldn't they be about suppression or salvation? And even if it was intended to harm someone, how could this charm be placed in such an easily detectable location, and it's so easy to be destroyed? Looking at the wooden piece in my hand, I was thinking about exactly how to deal with it. If this is truly some kind of evil magic, perhaps cracking it wouldn't be that simple. A wrong judgment might lead me to another terrifying disaster. You know, fire seems to be the go-to when undoing occult bullshit. Ah, fuck, got the loud music again. No! Looking at the piece of wood in my hand, a chill welled up in my heart. What method is there to completely eliminate this evil existence from the world? At such thought, my eyes finally settled onto an old lighter in the crack of the bedside table. It seemed to have fallen a long time ago, and it never been cleaned up. I struggled to pull it out and tried it a few times. Surprisingly, it still worked. I wanted to push open the window and lift the wooden piece outside to light it, but as soon as I pushed open the crack, an inexplicable force suddenly pressed the window back hard. The terrifying, vengeful spirits are still influencing the surroundings. In terror, I quickly moved away from the window. Once again, all the lights in the room went out. Only the light of the lighter in my hand is left. A terrifying chill sweeps in again. I must burn this piece of wood immediately. Picture, screenshot, maybe, I don't know. I hope this old and dilapidated hotel has no fire prevention activities at all. I lit the wooden piece in my hand. It began to make a sharp crackling sound, but it didn't seem to have been completely ignited. I anxiously aimed the flame at the pattern on the wooden chip. Even though the flames had hit my fingers, I didn't let go. Come on, heat up quickly. This burst of explosion, the wooden piece suddenly burst into a brilliant flame in my hand. Youch! Drop it. I curled up, even closing my eyes unconsciously, not daring to face the consequences of all this. When I looked up again, the light in the room had regained its brightness. Only black wood shards were smoldering on the ground, and the remaining flames gradually died out. Everything has finally returned to calm again. Yay! After that, I immediately packed my luggage and left the hotel. When I found another chain hotel in a more bustling area not far away and settled down, the tension and fear still lingered. I just lay in bed with my eyes wide open, watching the night outside the window gradually turn white. I'm still on edge, not sure if I've truly shaken off that indescribable terror. Fortunately, the rest of the journey went smoothly. When I got home, I felt seriously ill for no reason, but as my body gradually recovered, the gloom brought by this incident gradually dissipated. Later, I tried to ask online about the patterns on the wooden chips. Relying on my memory, I endeavored to depict the strange charm, telling that story for unknown reasons. Someone was secretly killing more innocent people by using vengeful spirits, but when I mentioned that hotel, people thought I was just using the murder case that occurred in room 306 2 years ago as an excuse to make up a terrifying and strange story to tease. Gradually, I also gave up on the pursuit of truth and returned to my unusual life. Oh my god, it's them! Aren't they so cute? Oh my god, it's Mr. Teeth and the other guy. It's a 1.5 reference. For real. What kind of hotel? What kind of mysterious talisman? Even using vengeful spirits to kill people? All these fabricated things on the internet. Oh, wait, 1 second. I'm gonna take a drink so I get an extra good voice for this. What kind of hotel? What kind of mysterious talisman and even vengeful spirits to kill people? All these fabricated things on the internet now are so fake that I can't stand it no more. It's the middle of the night. You should watch some of these. You should watch less of those things. What's there to be scared of? It's all just a story you made up yourself to scare people. I won't come with you tomorrow night. With your guts, you still go night fishing? I'd better come by myself tomorrow. You come and snatch my den. Ah, fuck, there's a sequel. I wonder if it's a case of any object that bears that sigil take on the properties of that sigil. Like whether it's a phone, or whether it's a phone, a piece of wood, even like a piece of paper, I wonder if it's something similar. Anyway though, that was the name of the game that I've forgotten. The translation was a bit off, but I like the pictures. It's very spooky, very scary. And just a good atmosphere all around. If it had a better translation, it would be like a real good game. But it's a good game, regardless. So, but without further ado, I'll see you guys next time.